Almighty God, look with love on your daughter Annette, your son Brian, who come before your presence this day to enter into marriage together. Bless and strengthen their mutual love. Amen. You may be seated. As we begin this marriage, we stand under the chuppah, which is a reminder of the 40 years that Israel was in the wilderness on the way to the promised land. And the ark was contained in a tent until Solomon built the temple. And so it's a temporary structure, and it reminds us that we don't have a permanent home in this life. But it is a home. And it is a symbol of the establishment of the home by Brian and by Annette this day. And it will shelter them as they walk through this life. A reading from the letter of Paul to the Corinthians. Set your heart on the greater gifts. I will show you the way which surpasses all others. If I speak with human tongues, and angelic as well, but do not have love, I am a noisy gong, a clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy, and with full knowledge comprehend all mysteries, if I have faith great enough to move mountains, but have not love, I am nothing. If I give everything I have to feed the poor, and hand over my body to be burned, but have not love, I gain nothing. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is not jealous. It does not put on airs. It is not snobbish. Love is never rude. It is not self-seeking. It is not prone to anger, neither does it brood over injuries. Love does not rejoice in what is wrong, but rejoices with the truth. There is no limit to love's forbearance, to its trust, its hope, its power to endure. Love never fails. Brian, Annette, you come here today in this beautiful place, in the company of your family, relatives, and friends, to speak what are probably amongst the most solemn and the most serious words that either of you will ever speak in all of your life. They are amongst the most solemn because in a few moments you make vows to God. And when we do this in freedom and with clarity and presence of mind, those are words that touch our spirit and affect us beyond this life. So the words you're about to speak are solemn because you direct them to the one of whom the prophet Jeremiah wrote, knitted you together in your mother's womb. The words you're about to speak are also very serious words because you're about to exchange a series of promises with each other. Promises that will take your two individual lives and place them on a common path for years and for decades yet to come in the legally binding contract of marriage. And so all these people who know and who love you, some of them from the time you were small, could scratch their head with amazement and ask, why would anybody do that? Why would anybody make such vows to God or such a commitment to another person? And the answer that comes immediately to the minds and to the lips is love. The reason why someone would be so ready and so willing to speak the words that you both are about to speak here in a few moments and enter into marriage together is because you're moved to do so by love. But what's love? I mean, you can't get into your car, turn on the radio, and not hear that word in the lyrics of a song. If you pick up a book, whether it's a great work of literature or a current novel, you'll find that word printed on the pages of that book. Love is found expressed in every human language, in every culture, in every age of human history. Love, therefore, is something integral to what it means to be a human being. But what exactly is love? I think in our day, the most common understanding of love is that love is a very powerful feeling, an emotion that we hold deep within ourselves for another. The difficulty with that understanding of love is that no one here chooses their feelings or their emotions. I mean, nobody wakes up in the morning and says, I think today's a great day for me to feel sad. Emotions, feelings, they're like the tide that enters and recedes without anyone's permission. And so to predicate the rest of your life on a feeling or an emotion would constitute insanity. Because no one can guarantee what you're going to be feeling in 10 minutes, 10 years, or 50 years. It is true. There are very powerful feelings and emotions interwoven with love. But at the end of it all, it comes down to a choice, a decision that we make in freedom to place another human being and their needs, their hopes, their dreams on par with and oftentimes above our own. A beautiful example of this can be found here this evening in the persons of your parents. There were many times when you were small and you cried out in the middle of the night and somebody woke up out of a deep sleep and got up out of a comfortable bed to tend to your needs. There were many days an alarm clock sounded early in the morning, and again they got up out of that bed and they went to work so that you would have a plate at your table, a roof over your head, clothes on your back, and maybe, just maybe, a little bit better shot at finding happiness in this life than they had had. Now, the truth be told, I don't think they always felt like doing all those things. But isn't it true it counts even more when we don't feel like it, and still we do it nonetheless for the sake of another? That's love. Nothing fancy. Just real people in the ordinariness of daily life who make that choice to be there with and for each other, to face the headaches, the heartaches, and the setbacks, which unfortunately are part of every human life, together, and to savor the laughter, the joys, and the little victories that come into each of our lives together. And so it's no small thing that causes you to walk down the aisle here this afternoon and speak the words that you're about to speak and enter into marriage together. And just as there are differing ideas and opinions in our society regarding love, so too there are differing ideas and opinions regarding marriage. And I think one of the most common ones is that marriage is a 50-50 proposition. I meet you halfway, you meet me halfway. To begin to realize the absurdity of this idea, all we have to do is consider other adult relationships. For example, we all have friends who we love dearly. And being a friend, well, sometimes it means a weekend, a really large truck, and a lot of boxes. Sometimes it means opening up our checkbook and helping out a friend in a tight spot. And sometimes it means making time in the middle of a crazy busy day when we don't have a minute to spare to meet a friend and be present to them in their loss, their doubt, their pain, their fear, and if asked, offer our best insight and heartfelt advice. The beautiful thing about the love of friendship is that when we stand in need, our friends, they stand with us. The love of friendship is seldom, if ever, 50-50. And in fact, if someone were to begin to calculate who owes who what, most people would say, that friendship's in trouble. And they'd be right. If that's true for the love of friendship, and it is, then how much more true is it for this, Brian and Annette? The most intimate relationship between two people in this life. Your life as a married couple will seldom, if ever, be 50-50. On some days, perhaps 80%, 20%. On other days, perhaps 100%, 0%. Now, if you question those numbers, get into your car, drive to the closest hospital, and walk its hallways. For every patient in one of those beds, somebody else is at home, taking care of everyone and everything. There may come a time in your life as a couple when you feel that life is demanding more from you than you as a person can face and deliver. If that moment should come, I would invite you, turn off your cell phone, walk into the silence of your bedroom, close the door, and spend some quiet time in thought, in reflection, in meditation. And I think in that quiet time, you will be reminded not just of this beautiful place and day, of the words you spoke here, of these witnesses before whom you spoke those words. I think that you'll be reminded of something which is implicit in the vows that you're about to exchange. And that is a promise and a pledge that you freely make here this afternoon to each other, that you will help each other to attain the fullness of your potential in this life. And in practical terms, that means encouraging each other in your hopes, your dreams, your projects. It means anticipating each other's needs, even before they're voiced. It means compensating for each other's idiosyncrasies and faults. At some point in your life together as a couple, it may mean having to have a very direct and frank conversation with each other that you wish to God you didn't have to have. And before opening your mouth and saying one word, making time to carefully select, measure, and weigh words that, while they challenge, they do not obliterate. While they call for development and for growth, they respect the integrity of the other person as a unique human being. And if you are blessed with children, realize they will look to you for far more than merely their material needs. It is from you that they will come to learn and appreciate the meaning of the word mom, dad, family, home, belonging, trust, forgiveness, compassion, honor. And you will teach them these timeless truths, not from a textbook on top of a desk, but at your dining table, in your backyard, when you travel together as a family. From you both, they will learn what it means to be in a committed and a loving marriage by how you speak to each other in their presence. And equally important, by how you speak of each other when one of you is absent. And I think in that quiet time of reflection in your bedroom, you'll be given the vision, the wisdom, the courage, and the strength you need to walk out that bedroom door and face whatever it is that you have to face as a couple together. And then perhaps 30 years from now, more or less, you may find yourself seated where your parents are seated this evening, and it may be your little girl or your little boy that stands where you now stand. And on that blessed and happy day, you can reach over, take each other's hand, and give each other's hand a little squeeze. And know that all the sacrifices demanded of you by life over the years evaporates like the dew on the grass before the rising sun, and that you enjoy the greatest blessing and happiness that has been extended to us in this reality. And having said those words about love and marriage, I ask you both now, in the presence of these witnesses, to state your intentions. Brian, Annette, have you come here freely and without reservation to give yourself to each other in marriage?
Yes.
Yes.
Good. Will you love and honor each other as husband and wife for the rest of your life?
I will.
I will.
And will you receive children with love and raise them with care, compassion, and patience?
I will.
I will.
Brian and Annette wish to share vows with each other at this time.
I, Brian, choose you, Annette, to be my wife. I will always love you, be a comfort and a safe haven to you, listen deeply and respect you, uphold you with my strength, never take you for granted, and give thanks for all you are to me. I promise to be faithful, to tell the truth, to share the good and the difficult times, to care for you when you need me. This is my sacred vow to you, my partner in all things, today and all the days that follow.
I, Annette, choose you, Brian, to be my husband. I will always love you, be a comfort and safe haven to you, listen deeply and respect you, uphold you with my strength, never take you for granted, and give thanks for all that you are to me. I promise to be faithful, to tell the truth, to share the good and the difficult times, to care for you when you need me. This is my sacred vow to you, my partner in all things, today and all the days that follow.
The rings, please. Creator of us all, we ask that you extend your hand and bless these, the rings of Brian and Annette. May these rings remind them both always of their love, of their vows, and of this, their first day as a married couple.
Annette, accept this ring as a symbol of my love and of my fidelity.
Brian, accept this ring as a symbol of my love and of my fidelity.
And what God has joined together, people should not divide. Amen. Annette and Brian, having witnessed you declare your vows and exchange rings, your family and friends are excited to congratulate you and give you their good wishes. I speak on their behalf as I convey blessings, the traditional 7 in number, to you on your wedding day. May your marriage enrich your lives and the lives of all around you. Amen. May you carry gratitude and wonder in your hearts for all the blessings that surround you and the love of those who care for you and fight for peace and justice for the less fortunate. Amen. May you hold to build a warm and welcoming home with room for family and friends, one that is filled with laughter and curiosity. Amen. May you respect each other's individual personality and philosophy and give each other room to grow and fulfill each other's dreams. Amen. May you allow your sense of humor and playful spirit to draw you closer to each other, especially in times of difficulty or strife. Amen. May you understand that neither of you is perfect. You are both subject to human frailties, and may your love strengthen you when you fall short of each other's expectations. Amen. May you be best friends together than either of you are apart. Amen. In a Jewish wedding, there is a custom of the groom shattering the glass. It represents closing one chapter in life and opening a new chapter. And actually, I was with a rabbi recently doing this at a wedding, and he said, may each of these shards represent a year of blessing and happiness in your life together. Mazel tov. It is my privilege and my very great pleasure to present publicly for the very first time the newly married couple, Mr. and Mrs. Sandler.